Matthew Harvey here, author of Benicia Chronicles, Wolf of Wessex, A Time for Swords, and maybe more things in the future. Anyway, I'm having a glass of wine, and I thought I would go live and say hello and just give you a quick update of things. I'm going to be away in a couple of days. I'm going to go away for a few days with my wife, having a break, and I thought I'd just catch up with what's been going on in my life over the last week or so. So, well, I haven't actually been doing any writing at all for the last week or two. So it's been a weird time. I can just feel I finished. I've said before, but I finished the manuscript a few weeks ago for Forest of Foes and sent that off to my editor. And I feel after I finished a novel, I feel like my brain is just like a wrung out sponge, and I'm just beginning to sort of get my mojo back and start thinking about what's going to be the next book, which is always interesting. So just today I sort of thought, I don't know, maybe I should sit down and do a little bit of work. And in the end, I started working on plotting a short story that I'd been basically thinking about for years. I wrote the first few lines of years ago. So that'll be interesting. So maybe something like a palate cleanser, I think, before I start the next novel. Novels are a bit like a treadmill. When you get on, have to keep going then for months on end before they're finished. And so it's always, for me, it's always a challenge to actually start. Once I've started, I know I'm going to continue and not stop till the end. So I sort of put off starting for a while. So this short story idea seems like a good option of actually doing some sort of exercise with the writing muscles, but not actually get onto the treadmill for the long haul for a novel, which it's always painful. But that will be happening soon, I'm sure. So what have I been doing? Well, I put a couple of videos out actually on YouTube, if you haven't seen. And if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever you're watching from, you can subscribe on YouTube and on my channel, and things will come up if you when I release new videos. But I've released a couple of videos in the last couple of weeks. One when I was walking Blue, the dog, and we discovered some sort of nice medieval style landscape near us. So go and check that out if you haven't seen it. And the other one was Winchester Cathedral, and that's got quite a few views. People seem to be enjoying that. And I was walking around Winchester Cathedral. And I was there last week for a talk that I had to do for the Hampshire Writers Society, which was great fun. I had a day, sightseeing in Winchester, and of course, Winchester is a lovely city, which, although it's not that far from me, I haven't been to since I was a child, and didn't, so it was nice to visit. Went to the museum and got shown around by one of the writers there, which was nice. And then I went to the cathedral in the morning afterwards. I went to the cathedral before going home, and it's great. Yeah, really nice cathedral with. It dates right. Well, there's been a cathedral there since the Anglo-Saxon times, but the current cathedral dates to just after the Norman conquest, so sort of 11th century, and then most of it is 14th century. But have a watch that video on my YouTube channel. And subscribe to the channel as well to get updates and do all that stuff that they say, hit the bell or whatever it is for notifications. Right. So when I was there, I said I visited these nice historical places, which was really great. It was, of course, the capital of Wessex way back when in the Anglo-Saxon times. If you've read Wolf of Wessex, you'll have seen it mentioned. If you've seen any of the Last Kingdom or read the Last Kingdom books by Bernard Cornwell, you'll know that Winchester was King Alfred's capital. And then a couple of days ago, I went out for the day with my wife to a town nearer than Winchester to us, but again, important historically, and in Wessex. I didn't do a video because I was with my wife, and so I wasn't going to spend time videoing. I took a few photos, put them out there. But it was a town. It's a town called Shaftesbury, and Shaftesbury has an abbey that was founded by King Alfred in 888. We went there, and I got this little booklet when I was there, a brief history and guide to the Abbey Garden. There's not really much there now in the Abbey. It's really just ruins, but amazing place. It's right at the top of a hill, Shaftesbury, and you've got views to 3 different counties from the place. And from the Abbey, apparently King Canute in the early 11th century loved the Abbey, and he was nursed there in his final days before his death in early 11th century. Very historical place, and lots of history, obviously, in the town, and very, very nice for a pub lunch and a walk around. So that was good. And also, when I was there, my wife popped into there was an Oxfam bookshop. Oxfam's a secondhand charity shop, and they do bookshops as well. There's a bookshop there, and she popped in for a few minutes, and she's an avid reader, and she came out without any books, and she said, "Oh, do you want to go in now?" Because I was looking after, holding the lead for the dog, and they actually said afterwards we could take the dog in. But anyway, I went in, and I came out like 5 minutes later with a stack of books, because why not? So I thought I'd show you the books I got, and it might give you some inkling as to the future of the books that I'm going to be working on next. So the first one I picked up was this one, Islam, A Short History. So I don't need to say much about, that's obviously pretty obvious what that's about. I haven't started reading it yet, but I think that's going to be useful. Also got this one, The Byzantine Commonwealth, Eastern Europe, 500 to 1453. Again, I've not started reading any of these books, but this is a proper meaty tome. Had some maps and nice photos and stuff, so hopefully that's going to be useful as well for some future book that I'll be working on. Also picked up this one. This one's actually to do with where we're going on our holiday in a few days' time. We're going to go to the Lake District, and this is one of the most famous writers about the Lake District and fell walking, Wainwright. So got that for a bit of a quick read. Or a quick read. Well, anyway, look at the photos and the maps, and look at some of the routes, and see if we want to do maybe some of them or parts of them. You never know. And the last book I picked up in that haul of books from the Oxfam shop was this one. So yeah, I've skimmed through this one. Again, it's a sort of a coffee table book with lots of pictures and stuff. But nice book. Lots of history of the Native Americans, the Plains Indians, as they're called on the cover. All those books hopefully are going to be of some use for future novels. Okay, what somebody's says? Karen Armstrong. Oh yes, that's about the Islam book, is it? Someone's made a comment. I was trying to work out what you were on about then for a minute. Yeah, so this book about Islam. So Julianos Lucas has said, Karen Armstrong's pretty decent specialist of the great monotheistic religions. Yeah, well, that'd be good then. So hopefully that will be some useful stuff. All right, other things that I've done of late. So when you're a published writer, one of the things that happens is you get sent lots of books to read by other writers, which is great, but it's also very time consuming and it's quite difficult. And I keep thinking I need to say no, but I sometimes do say no. But anyway, I've been sent some books recently. And people say no to me sometimes, so I need to learn that I can say no if I'm too busy. But as I'm between novels at the moment, I feel like I can't really say no, so I feel obliged to say yes and help out. So the first one here that I've got is a novel. This is an advanced copy of Adam Lofthouse's Valentia, and I've met Adam before. He came to Bath for, I think it was a Ben Kane book release, a book launch, and so I met him. He's a nice guy, and he even wrote his name at the front for me, if you can see that. And I read one of his books. I think it's only one of his books that I've read, The Centurion's Son, and I've only read a couple of pages of this. And I know Adam's got more and more popular over the last few years, and I haven't read this yet, but I have read The Centurion's Son, which I believe was his debut novel. And I think he's written, looking at this, he's written 4 books before this one. So this is his 5th novel. And just judging from the first couple of pages, the quality is really improved. So I think it's really great to see, not that the Centurion's Son is a bad book, but it's great to see when people's writing, improves over a few years of writing, which it should do. And people keep on saying to me, "Oh, your books are getting better. Each book is better than the last." And I sort of live in the fear of the day when that's not the case. But yeah, it seems to be really good. So it's set in 4th century AD around Hadrian's Wall. So I will get on to reading that and let you know when I've read it more what I think about it. Another book I was sent is by a writer called Tony Mount, and I haven't got a physical copy of the book, but the book that she sent me is The Colour of Rubies, which is her 10th novel in the Sebastian Foxley Medieval Mysteries series. And so she's on the 10th book of that series, so you imagine she knows what she's doing. I haven't got to it yet, but I reckon she must know her stuff, because I've got a non-fiction book by her that I bought a while ago when I was doing some research into the medicine for some of my books. So yeah, Tony Mount. So doing non-fiction historical stuff as well as novels would imply that she knows what she's talking about. Somebody's published her non-fiction about medieval period. So looking forward to delving into that as well. Just going to skim comments here. Okay, there's a quick comment here about was the Hengist character from the Serpent Sword based on a semi-legendary founding father of Kent, Hengist? Short answer is no. It's the wrong time of history. So that would have been probably, well, I don't know when it's the date of Hengist is, probably 5th century or something, isn't it? So it would be earlier. Obviously, the name is taken from that, and it just, I think, is that ist sound at the end of Hengist. So the brothers Hengist and Horsa, these semi-legendary brothers, are supposedly the founders of sort of the Anglo-Saxon dynasties in the south of England. But Hengist, it just sounds like a baddie's name, so he's a perfect antagonist name, really. And I have to say, Hengist was the first villain that I wrote, and possibly my favourite. I do love it's always difficult to come up with new villains, but I do love the villain in my latest book, A Knight of Swords. And there's a few baddies in that. There's a few sort of horrible people, but the sort of the main villain that I was going to say Bearbrand. It's not Bearbrand. It's Hunlaf. That Hunlaf encounters towards the end of the novel. He's a real character. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually hearing. I haven't heard the audiobook of A Night of Flames yet, but I'm looking forward to hearing what Barnaby Edwards has done with him, because villains are always fun to write and also to narrate, I imagine. So yeah, he's quite a good villain. So other things that I have to talk about. What else have I got? I've jotted down some notes here. Oh, I'm also reading a novel which I actually bought, which wasn't sent to me to read. So it's a published novel. I'm a very slow reader, and I'm still slogging through it. I say slogging through it like it's a bad book. It's just I'm very, very slow. and I've had some time over the last week or two, so I actually made good progress. I should finish it in the next day or two. And that's The Bloodless Boy by Robert. I think it's Robert J. Lloyd. It's Robert Lloyd, and there's an initial in there somewhere. And that's a great sort of whodunit mystery thriller set in just after the English Civil War in London, and it's very atmospheric, very well written. Um, I felt like it was quite slow to start with, but now it seems to really picked up pace, and I really care about the characters, and I'm really enjoying it. So I think even though I haven't got to the end of it yet, I think I can say I thoroughly recommend it. I think it's a debut novel by Robert Lloyd, but really good, really, really good. So I'll give a bit more of a thorough review of that when I finished it. What else? Anything else? Oh yeah, I know what else. Just a quick recommendation for some TV that I've been watching, and this is a bit of a left field one. I've been watching this with the wife, and we sometimes struggle to find TV series that we both enjoy, and every now and again we stumble on a gem, and we started watching a series which sounds like, well, on paper I wouldn't like. It's Julia, and it's all about Julia Child, the TV chef. I think it's on Sky in the UK. I don't know what channel it's on streaming in other countries or even in the UK. But it's an 8-part miniseries. But the acting is incredible. But the writing is just brilliant. And I was saying we're on the 5th episode now of the 8, and we were just talking about it the other day and how great it is that it manages to have conflict and make the characters interesting, but without ever straying from being nice, and the characters generally all being nice and believable. And so far there's no real sort of villains. They're just normal people going about life and managing to make those relationships really intriguing and interesting, and make you really want to carry on watching them, and you almost feel like you're part of the family of people that are portrayed on screen. So really recommend that. Unusual. There's no violence, there's no swords, there's no guns, there's no action. It's very early 60s. Julia Child writing cookbooks and becoming, I presume, the first sort of major television chef in America. so there you are, a unusual one, but really, really good. So if you get a chance to watch that, I really recommend it. Got another question here for someone. Have you read John Marsden's Northumberland, really? Northumberland, can't say the word, saga, History of the Anglo-Saxon Kings of Northumbria? Well worth a read, found in a charity shop. No, that's the short answer. I have not. I don't know if somebody mentioned this to me before. Actually, I sort of wonder. So is it? I wonder if it's fiction or non-fiction. If it's non-fiction, I wonder if there's anything else that I can hear about the kings of the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of Northumbria that I don't already know from other books. But maybe I'll search it out. But yeah, I haven't read it. So I think that's about it for me in terms of stuff. Oh no, there's one other thing. I know what else I was going to say. Just a reminder that when I'm back from holiday, I'm going to set up the following event, actually. So we got this a new Books and Booze event with Theodore Brunn, the author. And I've even got a poster. So I should be able to share this and show you. Look at this. Does this work? Look at that. So yeah, Theodore Brunn on the 5th of May, 7:30. I'll be in conversation with Theo. Great author. He's written the Wanderer Chronicles, which are a series of Viking novels. So should be right up your street. And what else? Actually, that way. No, not that one. This one. Um, and then on the 19th of May, I'm going to be doing another Books and Booze chat with a different author, Dan Davis, author of the Gods of Bronze fantasy series, the Immortal Night Chronicles, and Galactic Arena sci-fi as well. So he's a very prolific author. So that should be an interesting couple of chats we got there. And I need to line up some more chats for June. But yeah, those are always fun. Always really enjoy doing those chats with other writers. And if you've got any suggestions for writers that you'd like me to interview in the future, then ping them in the comments, and I'll see what I can do. So I've already done talks with Giles Christian and Justin Hill and Stephen Mackay and Angus Donald. So I've had some great authors already. I'm trying to do them a little bit more frequently now. So yeah, if you've got any ideas for authors, please drop a comment. So I think that's it now. So thanks for a few of you that have popped in and had a little chat, left some messages. If you see this later on any of the platforms, Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, then please leave a comment and I'll do my best to get back to you. Just a reminder that if you want to get some sort of behind the scenes stuff and advance information and sometimes even some exclusives and exclusive writing snippets and things like that, then I'm on Patreon as well, so you can check that out. And that's patreon.com/Matthew Harvey, I think, but you can find the link on the website and everywhere. So yeah, check it out, and thanks very much for joining me and for watching this. Leave some comments if you've got any suggestions for things to talk about in the future. And if you've got any authors, as I say, that you'd like me to talk to, then please drop a comment. And I'll be away for the next few days, so probably won't be online very much, but I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much. Bye.